Welcome back to Moto MC. Today I'm going to be reviewing my YZF R3 in the 2019 edition matte red. Alright, so basically for this video, in short, I'm going to be telling you how the R3 is a great first street bike. Really does everything well, relatively lightweight, handles great, not intimidating in the HP department, very economical to run, great fuel mileage, easy on the tyres, mechanically very good. However, I'm going to delve a little deeper into the specs, the pros, the cons, and my advice on who this bike would suit and why. This 321cc inline twin-cylinder engine, quick revving bike provides easy to manage power. It has 10-spoke cast wheels with ABS. I'll dive further into what that means further in the video. Alright, so here at the front of the bike, underneath the windscreen, we have the instrument panel. I'll show a video in a second of it after I finish talking about it. Alright, so it's an LCD multifunctional panel showing a digital speedometer. It includes a shift timing indicator lamp, gear similar to the R1 series, gear position indicator, fuel gauge, water temperature gauge, and fuel economy information. Also includes a clock so you can tell what the time is while you're riding, and Yamaha refers to it as a liquid crystal display. Alright, so a little bit of background on the 2019 version of the YZF R3s, this bike. It is a 2019 edition. They upgraded all of the R3s to be in line with the R6 and the R1 design, so it looked more aggressive and more sport-like. This one, being an entry-level sport bike, it goes 0 to 60 kilometers an hour in 5.5 seconds, but it is an entry-level bike. The R3s are the smallest bike in the small displacement category. It is a great loaner bike. So in Australia, there's LAMS approved bikes. LAMS approved bikes are suitable for L platers and red P platers. When you get to your green P plates, you are able to do a whole lot more things like pillion passengers. But while you're on your Ls and your red Ps, like I am, it is really good to start off on something with a small engine, easy to use, and especially with ABS. Okay, so as Yamaha said it best, it's a MotoGP inspired look that makes it the most radical 300 on the street. Or track, basically. Its sleek new bodywork echoes Rossi's race bike. If you don't know who Rossi is, check out MotoGP, legend. And the aggressive new dual LED headlights underline its pure R series DNA. Alright, so a little more on the specs of the bike. The new specification 37mm inverted front forks offer enhanced suspension, feel and feedback whilst you're riding, while a lower fuel tank and revised handlebar position improve rider ergonomics to give you greater comfort and control. So basically, my bike has been lowered, because I'm short, the front forks have been lowered and the back suspension has been lowered so that I'm lower to the ground. Not only is it kind of good for racing, but it also allows me to be more stable on the bike because I can get flat-footed while I'm in a stop position. Its top speed is projected to be 180 kilometers an hour. You know, the R3's top speed is about 180 kilometers, give or take a few Ks. However, the models do vary. It has 42 horsepower, liquid cool 4-stroke 8-valve. Alright, so these front forks are 41mm telescopic forks. The front brakes are 298mm hydraulic discs and the rear brakes are 220mm hydraulic discs as well. Different models may vary, but my seat height is 780mm. Alright, so in the past there have been issues regarding the clutch pressure plate braking and oil pump not regulating properly. These issues were resolved with recalls, and so I would recommend the safest option is to get one of the newer versions of the R3 if you were to get one. Because those were past years, these were before the 2019 edition came out. The only recall that I have noticed or been made aware of with my 2019 version is brake hose issues. 2 recalls were announced on Wednesday, March the 4th, The first about the possibility of the front bros leaking, and the second about the brake hose holder loosening. One other thing that actually did affect me, those did not, but this next one, the headlights needed to be recalled because they were too bright. I haven't actually taken it back to the dealership yet, so when I do, that will be done up for me. So, the ergonomic package on this bike is pretty good. The fuel tank has been designed like the R6 and R1s, so it's really easy to tighten your legs on the side and your feet to be on the foot pegs facing slightly outwards. This bike in particular has been lowered, so the clip-on handlebars has more of an aggressive stance. Less than a race bike, but better than a cruise bike. It's pretty low, but not as low as, say, a cruiser bike. So it's still really easy to turn on corners and back roads. It was made somewhat for commuting, and it's also fantastic on big windy roads because the handlebars are so easy to move and the bike is really lightweight, weighing in at about 168 kilograms. The YZF R3s have forged alloy pistons, which is not usually seen on a budget category motorbike like this one. They are more expensive compared to conventional cast pistons and are decidedly more durable in terms of shatter resistance when exposed to extreme temperature inside the combustion chamber. They're more strong, and their solid construction makes it more reliable and apt for high performance engines. This bike also has fuel injection, 6-speed transmission cable, actuated clutch, and the fuel economy sits around, average mileage is about 24 kilometers per litre to a tank. Do keep in mind, the more you rev and shoot flames out of the exhaust from downshifting, the thirstier the bike will be. Personally, I'm a short 5.5 foot girl, but with my riding boots on, they have a little bit of heel. It's not these ones. So so I'm on my tippy toes now, but when I have the heels on, I can completely flat foot, which is really handy to stay stable. When you're coming up to a stoplight, you're able to be more balanced. My bike does have ABS, alright? So this is a mad thing to have on any bike because it's all about safety. No matter how hard you pull the front and rear brake, even if it's super duper hard, the tyre will not lock up. So I greatly recommend to have ABS on your first bike. If you're a new biker, even if you're an old biker and been doing it for years, I still recommend it because it is so safe. It's a great mechanism to have on your bike. You can experience stopping without skidding or falling off, or an accident due to loss of control. Now talking about the suspension. So with recent upgrades, the 2019 upgrades, the chassis tweaks, inverted fork, heavier fork springs, gives front end more support at a track or back road mountain riding. Shock's spring rate is stiffer than it has been in recent years. The compression damping is slightly less as well. The Shock has faster movement when under compression, and the slower rebound damping basically just means that your bike will be fine after hitting a bump or a small pothole. Talking about the exhaust, you can get plenty of aftermarket exhaust, but I've just got the stock exhaust because I'm still pretty new to biking, and it's a pretty good sound still. It's not loud, it's average motorbike sound. Okay, so price-wise for a 2019 R3 is about $8,000 brand new, but this was only about $5,000, and it's secondhand. I got it with 60 Ks, 60 kilometers on the clock, so I got a pretty good deal. Facebook Marketplace, Gumtree, bike sales app, all fantastic ways to find a new bike for yourself. But yeah, other than that, thanks for watching. Hope to see you guys next week.